For me, it was good. I mean, a couple of new things. I mean, obvious things that I can say on the platform.
Oh no, you went live. Congratulations! You guys are doing good. We've seen the morning show. You're doing, you're doing great. Yeah.
And then some interactions we had with the YouTube Music's head of Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
And some, I mean, a number of opportunities that there is to unlock for industry.
Yeah.
And for the market.
Sounds good. Solid stuff. And
So
again.
talking of morning shows.
Yeah.
This week I was intrigued, very much so, about what's happening in the UK. The aftermath of the Queen's funeral.
Yeah.
And ITV, which is a broadcast station in the UK. They have a couple of presenters for their morning show this morning. And apparently when they went to cover the Queen's funeral, they jumped a queue.
Oh, did they?
Being journalists.
Right.
No, they have explained their side of the story.
Yeah.
But the populace or somebody put out a petition that the two of them jumped the queue to view the Queen's casket.
Yeah.
And so they should be taken off the show.
Wow.
Whoa.
Because jumping the queue is abnormal in the UK. Yeah. And that it is a matter of being unfair to other people.
Wow.
And so I sat back and I said, wow, two people going to lose their jobs just because and they're journalists, so they're hosts of a popular morning show in the UK.
Yep.
This morning. But because they jumped a queue, people are clamoring for their exit from the show. So George, I said to myself, yes, can this happen here?
They're public figures, right?
Yeah.
So there are expectations on them.
I know.
So once they break them,
but it's sad, and the people explained that they did not jump the queue. Like everybody knows, journalists. I mean, when people host events, there are certain areas that journalists can
go through.
So these guys said they went through that area so they could get a report to the millions of British citizens who could not be at the event. Yet the people don't want to hear. The last I heard, the petition had gotten over 30,000 signatures.
But
I don't know
isn't that a symptom of what we were discussing last week?
Exactly.
Cancel culture and how people are so quick to condemn. Even sometimes without having the full facts. And I think I heard something like that. And if it was true that the journalists were given priority access, because they did have priority access.
Of course they did.
There was priority
access.
They were not the only two people. So I mean, it's just people who are just interested in getting frustrated for no reason than to express their,
And then can you realize that lately, obviously, in recent times, there have been a group that have seemed to turn the attention of spotlight on journalists, particularly very, very critical voices. Essentially trying to bring the same, should I use quote unquote heat? I mean, heat they give to public officials
on them,
trying to bring the same principle they hold others to.
That's true.
On them.
That's true.
And if you realize, even here in Ghana, we've seen a couple of them with particularly political fanatics take on media people and try to extend the same principle they hold others to. So I mean,
George, the Iran president, knowing the questions Amanpour was going to
he refused to show up for the interview.
No, but he gave an excuse that Amanpour
should wear hijab before he gets another. Did he not know Amanpour would not wear hijab?
But there's been instances where, but did Amanpour have a problem with that? But there's been instances where
she didn't have a problem with it.
When
she goes to Iran,
okay,
she abides by the rules.
But when he has come to
in New York, you
don't come and
dictator.
That's a fair response.
And listen, in all honesty, look, I would not fault the Iran president. I think probably somebody gave him some PR management. Maybe somebody gave him advice that listen, I've had a chance to look at some of the questions, and maybe in prepping. Right. They realized that there was a particular question he wasn't getting right. It's PR, best to save, don't go at all.
No, you're right. You're right. That's a possibility.
George, taking a PR. I don't think you are obliged, if you are not prepared, if you're a public official, to speak to the media.
Exactly.
Of course, you have a social contract to the people that probably put you up there. And so you're supposed to communicate to them. You're supposed to understand. But if you're not ready, you're not obliged. For football managers,
Football
they are
managers
bounded
are
by
obliged.
contracts. They are
Because
obliged.
by-
They are
bounded by
obliged. No,
contracts.
no,
Yes,
but
they are
Saidi,
obliged.
you see, in this case, this is an
But they can say
interview.
no
This is an
comments.
interview that's been
To certain
set up.
questions.
That's been set up already, and all that. And look, sometimes I
Everything
keep
has been
telling people.
organized already.
No,
I keep
I
telling
agree
people,
with you.
PR is
Very
a sign.
possible.
The
Yeah.
very
8
best
hours
PR
possible.
people gauge the sentiment, they gauge reaction, they
possible.
anticipate the possible repercussions of the
Very
interview,
possible.
and they probably thought, no. Look, we've
But
agreed to do
this should have been factored in the process. In
No,
the first
it
part of
could
the
have
process.
been a last-minute occurrence. Look,
Because the
I-
situation in Iran was quite volatile.
it was
and
quite
changing.
volatile and
So it
changing.
was
So,
evolving.
they
Yeah.
needed to quickly
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
find an excuse. They knew very well Amampo would not want to wear hijab in the US. She wouldn't. They knew.
This is a
you
typical
think they didn't know?
excuse he
They
knows
knew.
will resonate with his
Exactly.
people.
They knew, and
He
they
didn't
knew
care about
the
the
people
world.
would love
It was
it.
about his people,
So,
yeah.
exactly. You know, I once worked
Because
for
he
an
knows his people will be
organization,
very
and
sentimental about his
I woke up one morning, tuned into
But
a
that's when
certain
they are
radio
rich.
station.
Yeah.
Tuned into a certain radio station, and I heard the presenter announce that later that day they were going to have an interview with somebody from the organization. I quickly called and cancelled it. I did not cancel it from the radio station. I cancelled it from that point
Yeah.
because I knew what
Where
that
the angle-
interview
the angle was gonna
it
go.
was. You needed to. Sometimes
were
it's just
setting it
last
up.
minute, but find an excuse. You know, and so challenge me there. I thought it was
No, but it happens.
It was
I
it was
know
awesome.
almost about a month or two ago, there was a show that was going on, ongoing, and then I got a call from the producer that the certain allegation has been made, and they needed me to. I said, what's the allegation? He says, this person said. I said, no, I don't want to respond.
That's all.
I don't want to fully listen to what
Yeah, that's
exactly
it.
the person said, and if it's something that we determine it's something that we would want to respond to, I'll respond. Eventually, we didn't respond
But what
because we
about the-
realized that if we had actually even responded to that, it would have escalated it. Than
Sometimes there's no. That's
what
PR.
about the one that you were asked to come and respond to an allegation, and you called me and I told you not to?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same thing.
sometimes you don't go.
No, in fact, I
Yeah,
called
told me.
on. I just called on Kenna. Look, this is brewing. There's a lot of this things, heat on it and stuff like that. I can understand, but I knew from that particular show that they were not actually looking for closure. Or they were not just interested in giving me opportunity to
Sensationalism.
explain.
They just wanted to.
They just
to-
needed for
the
them.
numbers.
That was the positioning of their content.
Yeah.
So I thought about it. I was like, no. No. There was no way you make sense because they will find because they are looking to, and I've had
Yeah.
instances where producers or executives told me that Charlie, sometimes be flexible, let's share our content. I'm like on my reputation.
Exactly. Anyway, gentlemen, let's move forward. This week, in the weeks past, two of our acts have released two very good songs. Kitty's Champagne, lovely, and
Actually, three of our acts.
Three of our acts, actually.
Black Hole Soldier.
Black Hole Soldier,
Sarkodie's Labadi.
and Sarkodie's Labadi. You know, and there is a trend, and that trend triggered our conversation today. They are all singing in English.
Yeah.
Uncle Cannon, I don't know if anybody has noticed.
They're all listening to.
They are
the
all
rest.
singing in English. Look,
And I think Sarkodie rapping.
and
too.
no, that was you. You need to listen to Labadi again. There's a lot of English in Sarkodie's rap.
Oh yeah, there's about
Yes,
almost
it's
50,
about
50%.
no, it's about 65, 70% English.
60%, yeah.
You know, and it was sweet English. You know, and you can see that Sak put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
You understand? I've heard Sak rap in English on some other song before, but this you can see that the gentleman actually put in a lot of work. This is
Yeah.
international style, and the video is
Amapiano.
so beautiful. And then there is Champagne. And then, of
there's-
course,
and there's
there's
Soja.
Blacko who has cleared the numbers again. Listen, is it about time we had this conversation again? Is it really real that if you want to penetrate that market, forget the debate about rhythm, forget the debate about music being a universal language, it doesn't matter what language you use, forget the fact that Yusun Du and Ko are singing in whatever language.
In fact,
Is
George, we need to
English the
correct
key?
it. Obviously, the language of music is universal. right?
Definitely.
Okay. In the ways they write it
Yeah.
and everything, musicians is universal. But it is not when they say music is a universal language. They don't actually mean the lyrics.
Thank you.
It's a technically how the music is
Thank
right.
you.
If it's
It's-
G major,
it's
it's G
com-
major.
exactly.
Anywhere across the world,
Thank you.
It will be the same.
it will be the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why
The
sometimes
melodies
I
and the
like
rhythms
you.
will be the same thing, but it is not the language.
Sometimes-
The lyrics in the ways it is delivered.
Thank you.
But because every song, you see what Blacko sang,
Yeah.
Sarkodie sang, all of them, when you give it to proper music students and he sits down, he can actually write the language of that music for you.
Yeah.
In the ways that when they take it. So you see the operas.
When they give it an orchestra,
Orchestra.
when they give it to
So
an orchestra,
orchestra.
it doesn't matter
They'll
which
play
country
the
the
notes.
orchestra is
The
from.
notes.
They'll be able to play
Yeah,
the
so it's
notes.
a note that
That is what makes it a
language.
universal
Not-
language.
Yeah, so it's been overplayed.
Sadiq, sometimes I like you.
Only one I don't ask.
So, Chief, do you also subscribe to the debate that look, if you want to cross borders, English is the language to consider?
Well, I mean, the way I see it, music speaks in two ways. It speaks through feelings and it speaks through meaning. Meaning is expressed through lyrics. Feeling is expressed through that universality of the language, right?
As
So
the
you can,
instrumentation.
yes, you can go and just watch an orchestra performance without any lyrics, without any singing, and you still enjoy it. You know, people go pay thousands of dollars just to watch a grand orchestra perform. There's no words. It's just the feeling. It's the emotions that it evokes. Which is powerful. Meaning too is there. I mean, people like Bob Marley, because he represents something. What does he represent? He represents a kind of revolution, right? And it's because of the message that is carried within his song. So yes, obviously when feelings and meanings, compress or come together, you can deliver a great feeling. So I think that you can sell music either way. So you have to look at the environment that we're in and what the artist wishes to succeed, wishes to achieve. And I will say that it's not every artist who must necessarily go international. There'll be artists who are niche, artists who are familiar to certain places. In fact, in this very show, we talked about the fact that even out of Accra, there are a lot of artists that we in the capital don't know.
Let me give you a name.
Yes.
Who is huge within the Ga community?
Yes.
Adote Teto.
I don't know that.
Sadiq, do you know him?
Recent time there is
He is
the guy that did the
huge.
Sankofa.
Yes.
Huge.
So you go to the regions, they are there. So what we must
Israel
ensure
Mauto.
Yeah.
is an ecosystem where we are not all pandering to a particular audience. Because if we are pandering to what we call the so-called audience, that is when our expressions become uniform, because we think that there's a particular formula. You have to put in a bit of English here, put in a bit of pidgin here. I'm not saying that anything wrong with that, because you want to hit a particular market, and this is what the statistics tells you, that when the song has a little bit of English lyrics or more English lyrics, it is most likely to cross borders. Fine. If that is the audience that you are focusing on, that shouldn't be a problem. So I don't have a problem with these new guys trying to sing in English and crossing borders. What for me is important is that we always retain that authenticity of people singing in their local languages, because they are interested in feeding the local markets. If we are able to ensure that that is ongoing, that they have platforms to monetize their art, and that they can be self-sufficient without necessarily dreaming of crossing the borders and making millions of pounds, then we have a system that is working. Obviously, you can't escape the fact that the world has become even more global thanks to the TikTok generation. Now, I can just with my phone hear other music, see cultural expressions from all across the world. We can't deny the fact that African culture, in quotes, is become even more popular. Afrobeat has crossed the borders. These Nigerian artists are selling out auditoriums around the world. So there's a kind of global appetite that is being, created for our music. And there's a formula, and because Sadiq them to tell you, there's a formula in these things. So I don't think it is much of a problem. I think it's a phase that we go through. Let's take one of the biggest music exports from Ghana, Osibisa.
Yeah.
Osibisa didn't sing in the local dialect.
No, they sang mostly in English. Yeah.
And they had all sort of Caribbean influences.
Yeah.
So I think that cometh the time, cometh the demand, So if the demand now is that we need to be mindful of language, because language can help you push across borders. If you as an artist, you are aspiring to those heights, then there's nothing wrong. But again, it doesn't mean that if you even look to your local language, you can't cross borders, because there are always exceptions. That's one of the things I believe in life. There are always exceptions to the rule. It's still possible to go to Yusuf Ndor, the Salif Keita. Even them, they add English and French here and there.
They do.
But it's still very, very, very possible for someone to be a local champion, in quote, sing local tunes, and still become an international sensation.
Interesting.
That is also possible.
But Uncle Ken,
Yes.
aren't we falling? No, victim is not the word I want to use. Because some have argued that, look, there is a very strong cultural imposition in towing this line.
Yeah.
And we putting ourselves in a position where we could easily lose our culture, because let us face it, like it or yes, with the choice of language comes a certain style and attitude. Even if you look at the trends of some of the songs that have been released, you understand, the choice of language has the potential of eroding your culture. Even biblically, when they wanted to stop the Tower of Babel, it was language they used. So if we have to, quote unquote, throw our language away just because we want to cross borders, I mean, the Arabians are not throwing their language away. I haven't heard of any huge Arabian global star at the level of even
How
Asher
many
Raymond.
Of course,
Arabian
their
stars do you-
numbers,
let-
their
let-
numbers is sufficient for them.
Yes, that's where I'm going to. I mean, they.
In fact, let me
they-
correct you.
Hold
something.
on, hold on.
African continent.
No, you let me land. So I
Talents
can
with the
come
most
in.
streams are Arabians.
Hold
Yes.
on.
Yes.
You know, so I'm here to hear. I'm talking about names. You understand? I haven't heard of
But you
any
know
names.
Arabic, yeah.
That is the thing. I haven't
there's
heard
a
of
lot.
any. That's the
No,
point I'm
I'm not
making.
saying they are not. I'm saying he doesn't even know.
That
because
is the
that's
point
not
I'm
his
making. I
context.
haven't heard
They
of
are not
any.
like global,
You understand? That's the point I'm making globally.
Well, they are global in their
and they
Yeah,
they
yeah.
focus
I mean, when I went
on
to
their
Dubai
space.
Expo, the number of big
Oh,
Arabic
so
stars
you
that came to
you let
the-
me answer my question, Uncle
You
Ken.
answer the question.
Why are you calling my
No, it's you I'm asking. That
Ow.
Uncle Ken. So are we not risking the possibility of messing up our culture just because we want to cross borders?
George?
Yes, sir.
What was your initial question to this topic?
Oh, well, looking at what musicians are doing these days, is this the trend? Is this the way to go now if we want to cross borders?
Cross borders. I really don't get it. What do you mean by crossing borders?
Going global.
Going global.
Yes, get your song heard all over the world. Enter the trends.
Okay.
Get recognition from the Grammys and all those things.
Get
and you know,
awards and all that.
all the recognition that
All
it comes
the
with.
money.
You know,
Thank you.
and all the money that it comes with as well.
I
of course.
wanted that clarification.
Yes, yes.
In the matter.
You know, everything Blacko is enjoying.
Yes. But why do you have to prompt me?
Just say.
You see what he has done?
No, I haven't.
It's not fair.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Chief and Sadiq
Mm-hmm.
have actually touched on a lot of the things I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Sadiq talked about the structure of music, you know, what it is. Chief has also outlined a lot of the things, and that followed through to your question that you've just posed. Aren't we losing?
Yeah.
Aren't we going to lose?
Yeah.
You see, I take an artist like Angelique Kidjo.
Kijo.
Okay. Angelique Kidjo started and was singing in her native language. In actual fact, her recognition came about through singing in her native language.
Yeah.
Her first Grammy was an album that was totally sung in her native
Yeah.
language. And she was on Island Records then, you know, those
Yeah. Yeah.
in the UK. Yeah. And then I asked myself, was it just the music that caught the eye of the outside world? Or did her appearance also play a part? Because Angelique is one artist that, George, you will know, never goes away from her Africanness.
No, she never. And she actually speaks
She's
5
authentic.
languages.
Yes, yes, she
5
speaks-
languages.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
married to a white man,
The white
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
but her Africanness has always been with her. So I would say that's also a part of it. That caught the imagination of the outside world. Apart from the fact that the music was good and well produced, people couldn't understand. Wombo Lombo, we don't understand what
My
it
God.
was.
So
The other part about it again is that almost all her songs were songs that these countries could only was pop.
Yeah,
It was pop.
Yeah.
Delivered in local language.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you see, that's also a technique that she used, you know. And then if you check how she, I mean, the awards the lady has won, I can't even start to mention them, George. Different kinds, because she's also an actress. So she started, she starred in an Afro Alodan film, The CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
played the supporting
Yeah.
role and
Yeah.
even won an award
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
as well as being a fashion
A
goddess.
fashion goddess, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look at the complete package, and I think that also helped propel her to cross the boundaries. If you check the rest of her awards, Grammy Awards, you'd realize that almost apart from the first one, which had Agolo as the hit song,
Yeah.
yeah, on it, the rest of the albums all had themes. She had she, which was only talking about women
Yeah.
across the continent. Now, nobody even heard songs from that album. Yet that album won her a Grammy.
Yeah.
It won her a Grammy. So you ask yourself, why? Yusundu that you mentioned,
Yeah.
you know, he also won a Grammy through an album that the theme was about Islam. The album was titled Egypt.
Yeah.
The first track on that album was Allah.
Are you wondering for the technicality of
Yes.
the song?
And the theme that he came up with. So, George, I think that you are right when you question the way we are going if we do not keep track of our culture.
Of our culture. So
I look at Black Sherif, and I'll tell you something about Black Sherif. The first song I heard about Black Sherif, I've always proclaimed here on this show, and Sadiq knows that, and George, you too, you know, that I'm not a lyrics person.
Yeah.
I don't listen to lyrics that much. You know, I'm more an instrumentation kind of
composition.
person. Yeah.
Totally.
His first, The Traveler.
Kuku the Traveler.
You know, I just thought, okay, yeah. He's talking plenty. That's what I
That was
said.
actually his fourth
single. I don't even know, you know. I just said, oh yeah, here's somebody who talks well and he's talking plenty, you know. But when I heard this current one, Soldier, I decided to listen to it at dawn. That's when I take the time to hear a song at dawn. When I put on my headphones and I listen to a song. And then I realized that this guy, what's his record label now?
He's on Road Boys.
Road Boys.
Road
I
Boys
don't know anything
that's,
about
that's
it.
his label.
But
his greatest empire.
But Sadiq, this Soldier, George, has got so much to it that I am so impressed. And if you check the instrumentation behind the song, this time he's backed by solid instrumentation. And even if you check the choral, the ladies or whoever sings the background
voice is
vocals,
clear.
and it sounds spiritual.
And he's just 21.
You know, and I said, oh, this is nice. If this guy, but I still think that it lacks a bit of the authenticity, or the Ghanaian authenticity that Chief talks about, which could also be included in the instrumentation to make it richer. I think that our folks are doing well, but they should think about what George has said about our culture and introduce. When I listen to some of these African artists, like songs that I play on African Source, you hear instrumentations, local instruments being used in their songs, and people don't understand anything that they're saying, but they enjoy the music. George, you like Salif Keita's
Oh, I love Salif Keita.
You like Yusundu's Birima. But you don't know what he's saying.
I have no idea what they're talking about. You know the funny thing? Sometimes we sit here and on Joy FM especially, we're very particular about language, especially when it's vulgar, when it's, you know.
So
but we play these other ones. We don't know what they are saying.
Exactly.
Whether it's the F word, the S word,
George,
the N word, we don't know.
A lot of radio stations, I think Joy also has been playing Burna Boy's last the breakfast.
Yeah.
And some places says
yes, exactly.
Siriboe and Shayo. It's actually referring to weed and alcohol.
And George, one of the things I am worried about with our acts, their appearance. If they want to sell Ghana, I think they should also consider their outfits for performances. Because I think that the outside world are used to seeing these,
the ones they like to wear. All those ones.
Hip things all over.
Yeah, different.
But that's good. Don't see too much difference between you.
But Uncle Ken, isn't that a branding issue? No artist has said, I want to sell Ghana.
Well,
every artist's first focus is to sell himself. Or herself. You understand? I mean, maybe if Ghana gets sold along the way, that's fine.
George,
yes.
Okay, when you get
yes, I mean,
what we used to have with the likes of the period when Angelique and Salif reigned supreme, where because there was not too much of African music out there, and so when they hear a properly mixed or mastered African music, they're able to factor in the international categories for the Grammys and
Right.
co.
I like the
Today-
I like the fact that it's out there, but we're singing our own songs.
Yeah, we're singing our
in
songs,
our own
yes, out there.
context.
But today, if you see the massive resonating effect African music has and the commercial viability, it's opportunities it creates for
Yeah.
labels and all of that. Trust me, the likes of Angelique Kidjo or anybody selling authenticity on African continent do not sell as much as these boys.
No, yeah. Obviously.
So
the
like
numbers.
Rihanna is respected for the authenticity
Correct.
and all of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
But commercially, I mean,
No.
compared to all these other ones who are breaking the,
Yeah.
the streams,
the streams,
and
yeah.
the
You're right.
venues and
You're right.
everything.
No, I was just talking about. I was just answering his question about crossing borders.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, look at Angelique's last award this year.
2 years ago, Grammy.
Yeah.
No, the Grammy.
The Grammy.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was last year before Burna Boy won.
Yeah, before Burna Boy. That was 2 years ago.
that
Burna
was
Boy won this year.
Mother
yeah.
Nature.
Yes.
And it featured Sting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
who's a white musician.
Yeah.
You know, and it was partly in English.
You know
as
how
well.
a lot of people were outraged when Burna Boy lost out to her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, back then.
But she
She was
picked him
calm
up.
about it, and she was
Yeah.
smart and mature about
So
it.
it was that was
Yeah.
when, but Burna Boy did something. That particular album that won the Grammy was executively produced by P Diddy.
yeah,
Exactly.
Of course.
Of course.
And had other, so P Diddy obviously has
He has that
a lot of
influence and the
Oh,
cloud
the
and the
influences were
engineers
there.
and everybody that worked on the album.
Yeah.
Influences
So there's a
were there.
certain it was crafted in a certain way that
Yeah.
it
That,
obviously enhances
but
justice.
Uncle Ken took us somewhere, which I think is worth looking at. So there are the Wiales, there are the
Yeah.
King Isobes, and the
Yeah.
others
Yeah.
who have decided that, look, this is my style. I want to remain authentic. I want to remain Ghanaian. I want to continue to do. Naturally, you not see them in the streams.
Yeah.
You not see them, headlining some of these loud outdoor public concerts.
Big
They may
commercial events.
headline certain types of festivals
Yeah.
out of Ghana.
Yeah.
How can isn't that where chief where maybe the Ministry of Tourism, for instance, should come in to consciously find a way to push these acts, because these are the acts that are putting Ghana out
How
there
would they
as
do that
Ghana?
in this case?
That's the
I
question.
mean,
I don't
how
know.
would they do
You see,
that?
George,
But wouldn't that be
if
a
you
good
listen
idea to be done?
Yeah, I love it. I've actually been listening to her album
Yeah.
for the past couple
Yeah.
of days, right?
Yeah.
And it boils down to what we talked about as music being feelings and also being language, or the universal, language of music.
Right.
If you listen to the music itself, the instrumentation, it's pop.
Exactly.
In a
It's
way.
pop.
It's
It
an
is.
adaptation of pop.
Yeah. Right.
Which
So I
is
wanted you to
naturally
play-
what makes Wiala authentic. Really, then comes to with the language that she uses, and then her
talent,
branding.
the
Thank you.
overall
Sort of-
talent.
kind of like
Visibility.
appropriating, but then she's also still using global tools and global. So someone may say that, look, maybe yes, I may not be using the pop sound, but I'd rather use English and contemporary Afrobeat sound. So our world has become so interconnected that sometimes an attempt to single out authenticity may be nothing more than virtue signaling, using symbols. So does that mean that if I wear a raffia skirt, that makes me African? Because raffia skirt should not intrinsically be African.
African,
Because even what
exactly.
it means to be African is undergoing a metamorphosis. It's changing.
Exactly.
From generation to generation.
Yeah.
And young people today are creating their own versions of
Africa.
culture. So
Organizations
I
is
mean, of course,
important.
it's a bit complicated. But where I agree with you when it comes to the dressing is that our musician continuously going to become mirror images of Western musicians. So what's the difference between a Sarkodie
And a
his
Jay-Z?
mannerisms,
Yeah.
his singing,
Yeah.
his approach, the
Yeah.
cigar, the wine, the cars, the girls, the bum-bums, as compared to an American hip-hop artist? How do we begin to create our own identities? We are not saying go and wear kente, or GTP to be African. How do we
Sadiq, let
create
him
our
know.
own
Yeah.
contemporary images and identities that has its own distinction beyond just the regular American hip hop that we are used to? Why should a Davido be opening his O2 show gabbed in Gucci from head to toe? The same with Wizkid, So that's why I coined this. We are becoming African giants, but we are Gucci puppets because we are basically regurgitating, what the people have done. It's all about the blinks. That's the hip hop culture. The cars, the girls, the money, the drinks, the cigar. That's what we have transposed into our surroundings. Can we still be pop? Can we still be cool and exciting without regurgitating or without, reproducing these themes and motifs and images that we are used to?
Let's use an easier word. Copy.
George.
Yes.
It comes back. Obviously, it's a choice, but it comes back to the market, the dynamics of the market, and the market a particular artist is catering to, and how it's tied to their commercial viability. So for a Davido, for instance, he'll go out in that particular point because, for all you know, Puma, he's a Puma ambassador. Puma is giving him millions that
of dollars.
makes sense for the business. I get it that for a lot of people will say, "Oh, now is it all about money?" There are a lot of people listening to us that will probably say it's all about money. That would that would not back when they have to work for brands or be managers in brands.
What about those who are not working for the brands? Because the point I'm making before they became big ambassadors, they were already singing about.
I understand. So that's why I'm breaking down the market for you to understand. If you're a Sarkodie, for instance, and you're doing hip hop, don't forget you are catering to initially a primary hip hop market.
Yeah.
Now, as a musician as well, for doing hip hop, understand that your active users will always fall between a certain age. Who would appreciate? I'm coming. I understand. Anyway. Well, anyway, because he's managed, because he's grown now.
Yeah,
and so he's got. So if you realize, that's why Sarkodie, for instance, keeps mixing. He's not strictly the hip hop artist that he was years ago. So almost all Sarkodie song, you'd have somebody doing the melody.
In fact, J-So, who complains that, look, I am a strict hip hop person, but I never blew because
hip hop, yes. But Sarkodie's biggest hit was Baby with Mugiz.
Yeah.
With Mugiz, because somebody had to sing that part. In fact, on his streams, his most streamed song is the one that features Castro.
Adonai. Yeah.
You know, that has a Castro
Adonai
in there.
Which is not a hip hop.
Which is not strictly hip hop. It's hip life if you look at it from a different within the context of hip life.
Adonai instrumentation actually sounds hip hop.
Hip hop.
When you listen to Adonai instrumentation,
okay, well, maybe you need to play it for me
hip-hop.
to listen again. No, but that's the thing about hip life, right?
Yeah. Anyway, true. It's just the mixture.
It's hip hop
and high life.
Well,
you do have a point.
Or the sing song.
Yeah, you do have a point.
That's what makes it hip hop. So the point is that he was catering to a certain market.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of them come off without fully understanding their role in development and how they can be the focal point for certain goodies that will come to Africa or the projection of Africa. You know, then they get to a particular point when they've made a lot of the money and they are comfortable enough to begin to think around these things, then they start. But there's also a choice in the market. Lately, what is the thing? Everybody's looking for the streams. In fact, even the major record labels are looking for the streams. Nobody's developing any artists anymore. Previously, you had an advance and a big money to develop yourself,
build your brand and all that.
Today, you've got to get it first. So, I mean, what's that guy? The guy, Last Smith. Last Smith was here doing his music and everything. Sonny didn't have to wait until he got a hit song. And then Sonny West Africa came calling. So now they are not really necessarily having to develop. So for an artist that's trying to survive, that's in that mode, gets to that point where he has to cater to a certain market so he can survive, particularly when you're coming to a particular space like this where generally the system or the country itself is not well positioned to enable people that go the authenticity route. It is not. So you leave them, they are all for themselves, looking to survive, looking to make some good money. And when the labels will come, when they get the most streams, and there's an opportunity for them. I'm coming.
Chief, let him learn.
And there's an opportunity to tap into a very huge audience base who resonate with the mainly English or pidgin music that they sing. They will do that.
Of course.
Today, for instance, when you look at it, take a look at last year. All the biggest songs per streams were all delivered in a certain thing. Even this year, let's even way into this year. Last year, the biggest most streamed song till the end of the year was Kiddies Touch It. There was a reason why it resonated in India. It was a language. Now this year, from Kweku the Traveler to Kamido's music to Now Soldier to the songs that we're talking
Labadi,
about. Go back, take a look at this. They are the most streamed songs of the year, and all of them were rendered in a certain way. So the question now is that I get it that all of us are saying to them that, be this, but they understand that they risk not getting the streams. They risk being the same people they are, and nobody would try to elevate them or enable them in any particular. It's not even where if you are an authentic artist, there's a particular fund you can work with to continue to project the authenticity of Africa. Nothing.
So it comes back to what I did mention earlier. Hold on. So it comes back to what I did mention earlier. that is it about time
It's
that
the numbers they are
maybe
leading.
should government deliberately, Ministry of Justice say, okay, so for artists who deliberately want to remain Ghanaian, authentic, push the Ghanaian agenda, should we find some funding for them? Somebody says, good evening, George. I am Manuel from Ayimensa. I'd like to suggest an artist like Manifest. Although he raps in English, he
tries to
still
wear the
portrays he still portrays his roots with his appearance.
Yeah.
You see, I want to
You
ask
had a question. Go ahead.
This
Yeah.
whole vibe about Afrobeat, like when Africans were doing, if you like, authentic hip hop.
Yeah.
Did they ever break through onto the international scene? I don't think so.
No. They didn't break through. They broke through with hip hop.
Yes.
But the African variation of
Variation. So there's
Not-
always a point that there's a level of authenticity that will distinguish you from in the market, because you can't do R&B better than Americans who do R&B, but you can do Afrobeats better than
they
anyone
can
can
do.
do Afrobeats. So there's still something to be said about differentiation.
Exactly.
That makes you popular. The only reason why Afrobeat has become a phenomenal, a global phenomenon, is that beyond whatever global sounds that they are taking, there's something unique. There's a flavor that is unique to Afrobeat that is just Afrobeat that makes it, that has propelled it
But,
to
but,
the
but our
heights.
opportunity is limited. So, for instance, even though they are varying it,
Yes.
mostly it's pop. The Afrobeat that they are doing, what they call the pop sign, is Afro pop. It's pop. You listen to it, it's not beyond some of the drum patterns.
Yes.
That's limited to Africa.
No, but when you take
majorly, and for it to be packaged in the ways that will resonate with these audiences that they are looking to tap into, they render it majorly in their way.
So I'm
And
not,
so,
I'm not,
so I'm not saying
agree
they
with
can,
you.
because there have been instances
Yes,
where, for instance, they've been doing it. Once in a while, you see a Wizkid, come out in a Kente suit. I've seen Sarkodie. There's been instances where Sarkodie has done shots with Kente, wooden, fabrics and everything in the way. So they've been trying to present it their way. So even if it's wooden, if it's whatever, they will do the same things. Manifest has been trying to do it, but he wore it with his Air Force Ones, for instance. So he's been trying. But you should understand that you can be limited. But at the end of the day, everybody is chasing the critical thing, which is the numbers. And depending on who you are, your positioning as an artist, the market you're looking to tap into, it would direct what you do regarding how you appear,
you appear.
Maybe
which
our
music you put
presumption
out,
on what
No,
and
no,
how
that's
it will
what
render.
I'm
All
trying
right,
to
let's
challenge.
cross over to Uncle Ken.
That
Let's
what
bring
people think
Chief.
is
Hold on.
actually selling may not be what is actually
Chief,
selling.
don't worry.
It is not
hold
selling.
on,
That's the basis of
gentlemen,
what I'm
hold on.
saying.
Let's bring Uncle Ken into the conversation. His hand has been up for a while. Yes, Uncle Ken.
George, no. I'm enjoying it. You know what has been bothering me? We're talking about artists crossing borders.
Yeah,
Some boy was recently signed by Universal Records.
Def
yeah.
Jam.
Def Jam, actually.
Okay.
Universal Def Jam.
All right. How did they get to hear of Stone Boy? He crossed borders,
borders, yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
George. Okay. Now, having crossed the borders, Def Jam have picked up Stone Boy. His first release that he had under Def Jam,
Therapy.
some said was a departure
From the
From
typical
a
from
style.
the typical Stone Boy that
Yeah.
we knew
Yeah,
or we know in Ghana.
yeah.
His second one, what's the title?
Gidiba.
Gidiba.
Yeah.
Is also being contested. So my issue
It's
is
about 80% pidgin and English.
yeah, that's 80% in
Actually, even 90%.
Pidgin.
It's
Yeah,
it's
90%
it's
English
a
and
lot
pidgin.
more. It's English and pidgin. Basically,
yeah.
it's
English
a
and
lot.
pidgin.
Bottom line is, but Stonebwoy we've always known does a lot of his work
Does
in
a lot
English
of that.
anyway.
Yes.
Pidgin and
Patois.
English.
Yeah.
That's a
Patois.
style and
And
patois.
the
Yeah.
patois.
Yeah.
I'm not even concerned about the language in Stone Boy's case. What I'm concerned about is whether his record label is going to take him away from us, the Ghanaian populace, who knew Stone Boy in a certain way, and are the people who are now debating his,
In actual fact, Uncle Ken, if you look at what they did to a couple of artists, they could be taking, if it works for him, they'll take you away from him regardless.
yes,
Burna Boy for almost a year has been touring and playing the Madisons and playing where and playing here. He comes to Nigeria briefly, goes back,
No,
goes
no,
to play.
no, Sadiq. I don't think you're getting Uncle Ken.
Yeah.
Uncle Ken is not speaking physical taken away.
In terms of the
There's
music.
kind of
there's
music,
Thank
the
you.
following.
The following,
You
the
understand?
sonic,
That-
the
because
texture.
Burna Boy is touring the
texture.
world, but Burna Boy's
The texture.
songs, like it or
Okay,
yes,
I get
it's
you
still
now.
very heavily fella influenced.
I get you now.
It's still very
I get
Nigerian.
you now.
I mean, actually, if we you can debate it, but it appears Burna Boy is like the king of Afrobeats.
No, so because
like it or yes, you understand?
Hey, the Charlie, the whiskey people go beat you.
No, but it's a debate. I mean, really,
whiskey people go beat
like
you.
I said, it's debatable. You understand? Because others have
No, it's
argued
actually
it.
a debate.
Yeah, it's an
in
ongoing
Nigeria
debate.
on Twitter.
Yes, it's
Whiskey,
an ongoing debate,
Burna, David,
and all of them.
always
You understand?
One of those
But
energy
one thing,
fanatical-
despite the fact that he's
Please.
working with international labels and all that, if you still listen to the songs Burna releases,
Yeah,
he
he's
still has
tapping
that
to the
fella
his
element
inner fella.
in there.
Thank you, George.
It is
That's
still
my-
there. He
tapping
hasn't
into
lost
his inner
it.
fella.
And that
my
is what Uncle Ken is talking about.
That's
Are
it.
we losing Stonebwoy?
Yeah.
No, I don't think when you listen to Gidigba, you would have
Mm-hmm.
realized that he had come back to a bit of the what you know him to be. Because I remember at the when they were announcing
When
him,
they announced him
when
at
I heard therapy, one of the questions I asked him off, I was like, "Did you write this?" He
And what
"Oh."
did he say?
He said he wrote
Co-wrote.
it. He co-wrote it.
Aha. I'm
You know,
happy
obviously,
about
but obviously
co-wrote.
there were
Yeah.
a lot of other influences. I don't know
Influences
about,
that came in, yeah.
Gidigba. But one of the things is also because he listens.
Yeah.
Stonebwoy also follows the insights.
Yeah.
Stonebwoy is also following the numbers. He's listening to the experts that sit to Universal. He's listening to himself because he also travels across. He pays attention to a lot of things, and he's somebody that likes to take charge of his creative, of his products.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so it is likely that he's having to put out something that everybody is probably considering to be a bit off from the usual Stonebwoy, also because he's experimenting to try to tap into all these markets that he wants to access, and he wants what's it called, numbers from.
Yeah.
You understand? So I mean, because he's in terms of his primary market in Ghana, he's been there, done that. He's covered it.
What else?
again,
What's new?
Well,
Stonebwoy
that's
has to
also
do?
a point,
He's done
Sadiq.
everything there.
There
any
is to be
artist
done.
there is
But
to
my
be.
menu masem. What do you mean George, but you know, I just
Yeah.
got a text from Whitney
Yeah.
to tell me that Gidigba is actually a Yoruba word.
Interesting. Which means what?
But she didn't tell me the meaning.
Is
But-
that which would be Boachiman, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Interesting.
explains why he was in Nigeria activating
Activating
like that.
therapy like that.
Ah,
But you know,
okay.
George,
Okay.
Quite interesting.
Okay.
no matter
Yeah, that's
how-
interesting.
how-
Thanks. Wait.
globally acclaimed,
Yeah.
our musicians are their biggest fan base
Primary
are
market.
still home.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
still
true,
home.
true,
Exactly.
true.
Burna Boy, Whiskey, their biggest is Africans or Nigerians in
the
Nigeria and in the
diaspora. Yes, true.
Yeah.
True.
It is not the foreigners. When
Yeah.
you
The
go
biggest
to their
market is
show,
there.
I would say maybe 70-80%. So
Beautiful.
it's still people
Yeah,
who are
it's true.
familiar with the rhythms, you know, of their culture, of their identity and everything, right? So they can
No,
never
but in
stray
actual
away
fact,
too much.
the idea is not. Sometimes the idea is not to tap into the non-African or non-African
Yes.
in the diaspora. It is tapping into that huge
Huge.
African on the continent and in the diaspora. Because when you go to the Madison Square, for
Yes.
instance, it's everybody in Africa.
Yeah.
But one of the things that will bring all of us together is sometimes when we understand the language. How is it? Don't you realize that we resonate? Nigeria is 2 countries away from us.
Yeah,
or
but
three-
because of
2
the
countries away
English,
from us.
we've forgotten the
But
2
we
countries in
connect-
between
yes,
us.
we forget
because
that-
of the language. The
Exactly.
language, the English, the common
Because
English
of the
language
common
brings us
English and the
together.
pidgin.
Yeah,
we
it brings us
connect
together.
more
Yeah.
than
yeah,
the
than
countries
with the
in
Togo
between.
and Benin.
So so
true.
the language would always have a certain connect. Once the language, and look, why is it that you have the French? Take a look at it. The most streamed, actually richest musicians sometimes in Africa are not the Nigerians. So it is
French
Arabian
speaking.
countries with a French twist.
Ah.
Already the French are
Algeria.
bounded by a certain sense of community because of the language.
Yeah.
And there's a particular hub, which is France. Once the music goes into France, for instance, it comes back to all the French colonies and then they adopt it. Now, those that have that 2 mixes of Arab and French, like those from Morocco, Algeria, their streams is crazy. It's crazy. It's like they release a song today, the Moroccan artists,
And it's
when
shot
they
up
release a song
already.
today, and in a matter of weeks, Uncle Ken,
Yeah.
100 million streams
I
and
know.
going.
I play
Aya
some of the
Nakamura
music.
has from Mali, originally from Mali, but in France now.
Yeah.
She releases a song within a matter of days. She's getting like 2. She's like the streaming queen.
So if I can get
So-
it,
so
in
it
summary,
ties to it.
what,
The
what we,
language
what
is-
we are saying, the language is definitely key.
Yeah, it's very.
The language is definitely
If
key.
you need that
what
huge
about
numbers.
yes? If you need those huge numbers, the language is key. So how
But you
can
can
we
still
then?
make it without the language.
That's what I was going to say.
I'll
Maybe more
contest
difficult.
that.
Make it is context. No.
I was gonna
numbers.
ask a question
You will
that-
not get the numbers.
No, so
what you
Sadiq,
will get is
let
that
me ask.
you will get a
Let me
Oh,
ask. Let me ask. So how can you still use the language to tap into those numbers without losing your authenticity? Is that possible?
George, if you are looking for the numbers, the authenticity there, you will be touched. Unless you're not, like I said, if you are like Riala, catering to the festival space, the festivals, and you know, there are different types of festivals.
Yeah.
You can choose to cater and look to play the Lollapaloozas or the Coachellas like Burna Boy, the Glastonbury's, or create your own level of the Glastonbury's and everything like the way they're doing and with the Madison Square, whatever, right? Or choose to play the relatively smaller festivals.
Yeah.
There are small festivals.
No,
You can
there are
have
different
the
kinds of
authentic artists. They play 1,000, 2,000. They play. You can when you go to Denmark, whoever you are, if you have that authenticity, you can line up a couple of them and play.
yes.
And then you
1,000,
play. All right.
2,500. It's
I mean,
fine.
to wrap
I'm
up
coming.
this one, yeah.
It's also good. You are exporting the music. It's
Yeah.
also good. But you need to decide if you're catering to that with your authenticity. That's fine. That's why I went back and I said to you that what the Angelique Kidjos, the Salif Keita and co were able to do at that particular period today is totally different. At that particular period, you could get into the Grammys and everything, but not become necessarily commercial,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Not become
Yeah.
necessarily commercial.
Not-
Today, that parallel is there, so you can be that, be respected. So if you come to Ghana, for instance, we all respect Wiala for the authenticity. We
Right,
all respect
exactly.
Wiala for that. What's it called? Her
Originality.
originality.
Yeah.
But really, when you put it on in terms of stream to stream, when the shares of the world, when the share dropped a song, Survivor in 3 months, it's 3 million. It's 3 million hits. Yes, it's 3 million whatever on it. So
Can we
at the end of the
let's
day,
complicate the
at the end of the day, I'm
let's-
bringing
no,
it back
we
to
won't
say that
Let's
it
complicate
may not be
the
necessary.
Okay,
It may not be necessarily
George Quinn.
commercially viable to
But
be
to
that
be both.
authentic.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's-
but what-
yes,
yeah,
yes,
that- my
Chief.
point about
Before
is
you
how
carry
do you
on,
even
Whitney says
define-
the word means really.
Really? Okay.
How
Interesting.
how do we even define what this authenticity is? Is it in the symbolic? Is it symbolic? For example, let's take Wendy Shea. Let's take maybe Wiala. Let's say Tinambawa, right?
My
Pop-
favorite.
George, this is
pop
favorite.
feeling.
My favorite.
It's four.
But
My favorite
the
from
language
Wiala.
is what? Is Sisala Wale.
Yeah.
Saleh.
Is it the use of the
Wale.
language that gives it that taste of authenticity as against a Wendy Shea song? Give me an example of a Wendy Shea song.
Survivor.
What, for example, is Wiala more authentic? I mean, this is an academic exercise.
Yeah.
What, for example,
the
in,
language.
in your expert opinion?
In
what
Wiala's case, the language.
okay, what if doesn't Wendy Shea have 3 songs?
Hold on. Wiala's case is not just the language for me.
Yes.
Wiala is a whole package.
No,
It's
I
a
know
whole
it's the whole
package.
package,
No.
but right now
We
we're
know
doing
it's
academic
the whole
ex-
package.
Yeah, she's
exercise.
voice,
agreed.
she's
But
artistic.
She
She's-
calls herself the lioness of Africa.
Yes.
She's
No,
an entire
even that,
package.
even that one, when you go to certain academic circles, they will find that problematic.
No. See.
I'll
There's
tell you
something-
why.
Yeah.
Because they also feel that Africa has been there's an image
It's
of Africa
changed.
being a jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that
we
image is being
romanticize
changed.
a particular
So-
image of
yeah.
Africa. So people are also, for example, when I was working with the AU at Expo, they said we didn't want at our Expo exhibition, we don't want the safaris and all of
No,
that
no,
again,
no.
because every time it's Africa,
We
it's
want
about the
Wakanda.
safari. Can we see something a bit?
Can we see
a bit
Wakanda?
different? So that in itself is also a criticism that
Yeah,
you become
yeah.
authentic if you are stuck
Chief,
in past
I
imagery.
think
yes.
okay, I think that everybody's weighing in on Wiala's the artistic element of what she puts out in the total package that she comes.
I agree with you. But
That
right
is
now,
that
I'm
is
being
that is
authentic.
what people weigh in when they say she's authentic, because you look, even if you don't understand the language, when you see an art piece, when you look at it, when you're comparing it, particularly if you understand art, you know that which somebody has gone
so
the
you see,
extra mile.
let's break
to give
down
it to
that,
you
because we're
than-
also trying to
Chief, hold on.
advocate.
Let me help you
Let's
both.
break
let me
down
help.
that
Let me help. Let me
authenticity.
help you both with a question.
Yes.
Gentlemen, when you look at and this is not to say, just for clarity, Wiala's following is huge before they come after us. This is not to say we don't love Wiala or we're looking down or
No, it
anything.
means
It's just what
she's not tastemakers
Chief
or
said-
opinion leaders liking
Yes,
it.
like Chief
and
said,
they'll come for
like
you.
Chief said, it is an academic exercise. We all want to learn something. When you look at Wiala today and what she represents, her looks, her dress, her everything on stage and everything, does she represent today's African woman, in your opinion?
Oh, nope,
No.
she doesn't.
Then isn't that what Chief is
I
talking
would
about?
say no.
Isn't that
It
what
doesn't.
Chief is saying?
No, so that's what I'm
then
saying. That
where
no,
does that? So when you say, so when we talk, so
Chief was
it
also
means-
asking a question,
Hold
don't
on.
forget
so
that.
it means in authenticity, that is not today's African woman. So where is that level of authenticity when we discuss a Wiala, for
you see,
instance?
Chief was also asking a question for
Yes.
us to weigh in on that,
Yes.
and then I came with a response to say it is the extent to she goes to present the art to us. That's what people respect.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they.
So-
that's
so
what they
let-
say. So
okay.
it's not much about the language, but listen to Yala's voice.
So the reason why
Listen
I
to when she
introduced this-
performs.
yes.
Listen to how her songs are packaged.
delivery,
Listen to how she,
everything.
the
Yeah.
extent to
Call
which she
and
goes
response.
Yes.
to the call and response,
The dancing.
all the techniques,
The
all
energy,
of those things.
everything.
So it is the extra mile she goes to present that piece of art to us.
So
That's
in a
what
way,
people
it is
respect.
symbolic.
Exactly.
It's a way it is appropriating some particular imagery of African culture that we know that may not necessarily be how people live their lives every
Exactly.
day to
Today.
uphold.
Yes. Today. Exactly.
It doesn't mean that every artist in a quest for authenticity
Must
must
also
have
say-
that imagery.
Yeah, no.
So
No.
that's the question I'm not
And
asking.
for
In our
Yala-
modern day and age, where we are so much influenced,
Mm-hmm.
how then do we define authenticity? So if I'm a modern artist and I don't want to go by that symbolic, exposure of Ricky Raffia skirts, dancing, if I don't want to go by that
Yeah.
way of representation,
Mm-hmm.
how do I still capture authenticity in my contemporary outlook?
So that's what I'm saying, that others have done it with what they do. So there's a very iconic picture of Wizkid when he broke through with Afrobeats to the world, and that image was Wizkid wearing, was it Within or Velisco? I don't know. It was made into a suit.
Now,
Of course, Within and Velisco are not made in Africa anyway.
So now let me tell
But
you-
it's
let me-
understandable
yes.
that
Let me now tell you
it
why
represents
we're in
Africa.
exciting times.
We're wrapping up on this one.
Let me now
Yeah.
tell you why we're in exciting times. We're now in exciting times because cultural leaders have an opportunity now to redefine what is Africanness.
Yes.
And cultural leaders are popular stars, whether
Yeah.
you like it or
Yeah.
not. The
Yeah,
Wizkid,
exactly.
The Davidos,
Yes,
the
the
Burna
Sarkodie
Boys.
is a-
And
the
so
Sarkodie
they
is the
must
Stoneboys, the
understand
Shatawalis.
the
Yeah.
power of symbolism. So if I am a cultural advocate, I'll tell you, look, I'm not saying don't do your deal with Gucci, Prada, and everything, but understand the power of symbolism. When you are coming down that crane, O2 Arena, that becomes the definite shot of your performance at O2 Arena. Probably what you don't want to showcase is
the Gucci.
the Gucci from
But
everywhere.
George, no,
no,
Chief,
hold on, I'm
Chief,
making a point.
Let him learn.
But
These
unless there's
artists
money
have
in
so
it.
much
Of
influence.
course, yes.
No, but these artists
That
have
is
so much
true.
Let them
influence
learn.
these days because
Yeah.
they are no longer poor. Wizkid walked away from a Puma or whatever deal was it because they
The
were
rich get richer.
Yes. So my point is that let's understand the importance of symbolic movement,
Yeah.
and let's understand how we can redefine what it means to be a contemporary African. It shouldn't necessarily be the holding of the cigar, the holding of the wine cup, the driving the Bugatti. That is the symbol of success because that is
George,
already copy and paste.
Let him learn.
So
Let
it
him
is
learn.
now the time for us to redefine or rethink about music producers, video directors, fashion designers. This is African creatives are now in a point where we have an identity crisis, but this is also a great opportunity for us to redefine new images, new motives for the future
George.
to represent what
Okay,
is
so
more
George,
Chief,
African
are
today.
you willing to pay for what you're talking about?
Oh, when you say pay,
No, because if the Gucci, for instance, knows that
Wants to do an
Wizkid is
African thing
going
for Mansa Musa and
to
say,
perform
you
at
take the
this
money.
place and he's going to come down a crane like you're talking about, and Gucci say for that shot close up,
I'm paying $2 million for you
thank
to wear my
you.
outfit.
George.
You think he will say no to
No, George, let me give you even an instructive point. When
Go
I
ahead.
say follow the numbers
Yeah.
and where the numbers is coming from. Currently, as it stands now, the most critical African hits are not owned by African companies or they are co-owned by the artists because of the royalties.
Yeah.
But take a look at the labels behind them. Atlantic behind Burna, Sony behind Wiz, and it goes like that. Stoneboy now, Universal Def Jam.
Universal Def Jam.
And it's going. In fact, even beyond that, some of them are signing deals, exclusive deals that exemplifies almost 360, like what Blackwell has with Empire and Co. Empire is an American company owned by an Israeli.
Yep.
And so, like I said, follow the numbers. Where the money is coming from now, even now more than ever, the songs are majorly distributed by all these global organizations. You put your money where your mouth is.
Excellent.
There's no
Sadiq.
Africans. I'm coming. It's not Africans actually bankrolling this for you to actually even call the shots first and
Call the
foremost.
shots, yeah.
And then now, what's actually even crazy is that when you sign a 360 like Wiz and all of those people, you don't own yourself. Even your image is part of the earnings. They track it, all of that. The endorsement and everything, unless you varied your
So
contract.
these are for the big boys.
Yeah, so-
what about the 99% of upcoming and undergrad?
They're in survival mode. You
who
want him
feel
to
that
do-
that is the way to go. That is the only way to go.
So-
Because they're in the
Wait,
survival mode. If
yeah,
it works for them,
because they are all
We're out of time
I'm,
on this
I'm
one.
bringing you,
Brands.
yes, I'm bringing you that attention for you to understand that they are in survival mode.
And my point
they
is
do not
that,
have
yes.
a lot more
Gentlemen.
time to think about their silver
No, but that's
lining
my
of
point. So
purpose
it is
or
not. So if
their
you
role
are
in
going to think
development.
about Gucci, that's why they will be successful. That's all of this. That's the point I'm trying to make. That if you're an underground artist coming, it doesn't mean that your success depends on you singing about Gucci, wearing Rolex, and driving.
Does it resonate with their active music users or not?
Resonate in what sense? Because we are also, curating the appetite of the listeners.
Do you think your J's okay? Let me bring your mind to something. Do you think your Gen Zs today,
Gentlemen,
really think about those things?
Gentlemen,
So, yes,
hello, gentlemen.
about.
Are you with me? We're out of time on this one, so please stay with
Do
me.
we have another topic?
Yes, we do. We have we're out of time on this one.
this
But
one-
let me take a break. When I take a break, I mean some messages are also coming in. This one says, George, there was a very huge debate on this topic on social media by Ghanaian and UK blogger Malik Ofori in 2020 when he said it is only when Ghanaian stars start to sing in English they would never win an award internationally. That one came in from Babs inside Abiling. But you can also send yours through. On 05511119997. This one says, do we see any player justifying why they need to be at the World Cup? Papa Sisan that said, how can you play? Oh, sorry, no, that's an old one. Have you all forgotten Kenteman and Asabia Cropper? Yes, that's from Papa C. Yeah, where are they? Very interesting. Yeah, they were very huge local
We
stars.
can romanticize all those things,
Yeah.
but follow the
And then
numbers.
this one says Angelique Kijo, Hugh Masakela, Brenda Fassi, and the likes all sing with their native language, yet we jam to them. Angelique Kijo is a two-time Grammy winner. Music transcends beyond money. Trends come and go, but true style is timeless. Shem Mixon Yeboah sent that one in. All right, keep them coming in. Gentlemen, I have a question. Can I ask my question, please? Gentlemen, are you with me? I have a question. Gentlemen, Chief. I have a question. What are the 4 main music genres in Ghana today?
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
Okay, Afro pop first.
There's
I'll
Afro.
say why.
Yeah.
Maybe
No, you don't need to say why. Just mention them. Afro beats or Afro pop. Okay, one.
Afro beats, Afro pop.
Yes.
Currently,
High life still.
hip hop.
Hip hop. Okay.
Okay, unless we want to.
Don't worry.
We want to use high life.
No, just
The mo-
mention them based on what's playing. The ones that come to mind. Afro beat, Afro pop one.
Okay, so I'll say Afro pop, Afro beat, stroke high life.
Stroke high life
Because
one.
a lot of
Okay, in the
beats
same
that
space.
are
Yeah. And
appropriated as,
then number 2.
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
life.
Okay, 2 hip life. Yeah. 3. Gospel.
Yeah,
Gospel 3, and then 4.
That's just the 3.
It's just the 3. Uncle Ken,
Currently,
would you
the top
agree?
three.
Yeah, but when it comes to gospel,
top three, I don't think
when it
there's any
comes to
top four.
gospel, I always have this problem with gospel because gospel is either played in the high life mode.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's another
But in
debate.
Ghana,
Uncle Ken, don't take us there.
Ghana,
No.
we've made it
Okay,
generalist.
That's another
Yeah, so
debate.
Ghana, we've made it generalist.
No, it's not just Ghana. Look. Even other award schemes globally, they also
Yeah,
have this
it's-
thing.
they
Do you go by
measure
the
it by
rhythm,
the
by the
faith,
message?
the message,
Exactly.
the message,
So
the
let's
message.
so gospel
Again,
exists.
gospel
So
means
Chief,
message.
Yeah, anyway, that's true.
how about you? Do you agree with this 3? You go with the 3. Uncle Ken, so you also go with the 3.
Yeah.
These are the top 3. There isn't any top 4.
There's been a
'Cause
very
that's all is gone.
I saw a very interesting question on Facebook today. Why is there no gospel act on Global Citizens Festival? When we come back.
It's week 3 of the BetPower Ghana Premier League. Turn on your Star Times decoder. Get on your Star Times on app. It's time to watch the long-awaited mega encounter. Fabulous Kumasi Asante Kotoko host mighty Accra Hearts of Oak this Sunday, the 25th of September. Seydou Zebo versus Samuel Boedu, Part 1. It's the GPL Super Clash. Phobia or Fabulous? Get your Star Times decoder or download the Star Times on app to watch this unmissable match. Ebeye Butu Butu, showing live in HD on Star Times and Ipa Channel 247.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Brace yourselves for bigger secrets, better gossip, and spicier drama as the housemates get to spill all the tea. Nothing is off limits. Catch all the inside gist from the Big Brother Naija house on BBN Season 7, The Buzz, hosted by Toke Makiwa.
Don't miss any episode of The Buzz every week, only on Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com. Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories in the engine room. We have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Joy 99.7 FM.
How about getting your day defined with us here on the Super Morning Show as we serve you the most authentic breakfast on radio? My name is Kojo Yankson. Join Mama Biousu Abuaji, Winston Amwa, and I on the Super Morning Show every weekday from 5:50 until 10 a.m.
I'm Dory Nando, your joy bringer. I take over from the morning show team from 10 a.m. till midday every weekday, serving you the best cocktails ever on the Cosmopolitan Mix. I simply keep you company whilst you work.
And I come in right after the business news at 1 p.m. to keep you ignited with all those soothing and incredible tunes. From 1 p.m. through to 3 p.m. with me, Sammy Forson, on Ignition, ahead of drive time, where Lexus Bill takes you on a smooth drive.
You bet, Sammy Forson. They know they are always in safe hands on drive time on Joy. Where my passengers at, you know how we do it. Super jams, great combos, and many more. I am Lexus Bill. Hey, Kofi, are you ready for the overdrive?
Oh, yes, Lexus. I am ever ready to overdrive our listeners with joy. Between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. every Monday to Wednesday, I know just how to keep you company while you push through the final hours of traffic before getting home safely. Enjoy your bedtime with George Quay on the Late Night Express.
Thank you, Kofi. The Late Night Express is a journey of inexplicable musical ecstasy as I serve and pamper you with all those love-soothing tunes till you fall asleep like a baby. My name is George Quay. The Late Night Express, Mondays to Wednesdays, 10 p.m. till midnight. Your bedtime companion. I love you.
Yes, we love you. And thank you for choosing us. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners. We are Joy.
For playing it to the world. Ghana DJ Awards is gonna be amazing. God bless you for supporting the music.
No be joke, it joke. What's up, guys? It's your girl Stepha, and I can't wait to party with you guys at the 10th anniversary of the Ghana DJ Awards 2022. I can't wait to see you. Ododompo.
Here we go. I do praise, yeah, but I do praise, yeah, I do praise 2022 is sponsored by DBS Industries Limited. Roofing Papa Fie. To roofing sheet every DBS Industries Limited. Nayam Bosu free and from out. Freya, I was 0240 84 44 44. I do praise 2022 is sponsored by Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone, accessories, any air condition Papa Fie. 21st Clinic, the sciatica experts. Nayas toothbrush. Ayelab gripe water and Molly's baby oil. Phyto sunflower oil. You deserve a life of goodness. AA Charcoal toothpaste. Fluoride free. Made in Ghana. A nice boy enterprise. Unimde Ankasa. I do praise. Yeah,
Sadiq Abdullah Abu and Chief Mumin. We've been talking a lot. We've been looking at music. Good evening, GQ. I like Chief Mumin's submissions. He's intellectually awesome. For your information, the world has space for our unique Africanness. We don't need to look like the Western people. And we don't necessarily need to sing in English to be world or international stars. Our contemporary musicians are authentically unauthentic, with the exception of Wiala. That one is coming in from Kwesi Ofor inside Washington in the United States of America. Thank you very much. You can also send yours through 05511119997. We're on till 6 p.m. Happy birthday going out to you, Brenda Jiman, Lisa Archer Boateng, Priscilla Jimandabu, Alan Dodds, Jake Biafrani, and my brother Adoti Aloti. Mancha Kwakbo, happy birthday to you, bro. And a belated one going out to you, Aisha Haruna. Hope you had a great day. Not forgetting my brother who celebrated his 2 days ago, the legendary Seth Kwame Boateng and Harold Amenya. Not forgetting our girl Vivid Educhumwa Boateng. Belated birthday wishes going out to y'all. And Senior Mobakate Kabute Adodoaji. Senior, belated birthday wishes going out to you. September is almost out. 2 gospel shows going out tomorrow evening. Global Citizens Festival going out tonight. Next week, Friday, my man Lexi the Comic. Too Cute to Be Mute 2 goes down at the National Theatre. You don't want to miss that. Boy, oh boy. October is going to be great. All right, gentlemen, we're back. We're back to the studios. Uncle Ken, yes, we're back. Your microphones are live. Let's get the show back on the road. So before the break, I asked a question. I said, and this was a question that my friend Jay Smoke asked on Facebook early on today, that how come if Ghana is such a country that's so big on gospel music, and you look at the representation on the Global Music Festival, it looks like all genres have been covered except for gospel. How come? Any answers? Sadiq, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think that the Global Citizen has consistently been communicating their stance on religion.
Yeah. And
their stance on partisanship and a lot of things. They have a number of
They want to stay neutral.
They always stay neutral. Secularity obviously gives you that neutrality as much as
exactly.
possible. And so if they don't want to, because then if you want to bring it down to gospel, it would come to which gospel artist
you want to put
if you take a gospel artist whose message is based on Christian faith, then what? The Muslims also come and say, we're also preaching the gospel.
The traditional
then
people also step up.
It opens them up to things that they've always run away from.
Yeah.
And so if you look at even on their tickets, one of the things they've insistently put out on their ticket, for instance, let me see, I've got a ticket here, is they say you're not allowed to, what is the thing? Forbidden items.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they put out is signs or banners considered political, ideological, religious, or advertising are forbidden things that will be there. And so if you're banning everybody from bringing in banners and signs and things, and you're having it directly on your stage, you're consciously encouraging them. So they've heavily stood on these things.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they always fight a particular cause. They almost every event represents a particular cause. This one's got to do with women empowerment and all that, and it's quite good. And they're encouraging everyone to take action. If you look at their ticket again, they said take action for girls, for the planet, to create change. They're also battling climate change and all those things. So kudos to the organizers, and we wish them the very best this evening. Yeah.
But George,
yes,
what's happening with Run with your wife?
Uncle Khan, what did you say? Run with who?
It's 99.7 FM. It's Rhythms A to Z.
Uncle Ken says run with your life.
Guest in the studio, George Kwe. I'm here with Uncle Ken and Baba Sadiq. And we just want to find out from George Kwe how preparations are going for his upcoming show. George, when is it?
What is his upcoming show?
Yeah, when is it?
No, I like the title Uncle Ken mentioned. Uncle Ken, what did you say? Say it again. Uncle Ken, what did you say?
No, I didn't.
No, please say it again. Please say it
No,
again.
I didn't.
Uncle Ken says, run with your wife. Uncle Ken, it's run for your wife.
For your wife.
Yes, run for your wife.
I prefer with your wife.
Run for your wife. You know, the title is actually picked from the very end of the play.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, the play basically speaks about infidelity, bigamy, and everything. You know, here is a man who's got two wives that live about 5 minutes apart and yet do not know about each other. Yeah. He tries to be a hero in saving someone. And then the media gets involved. You know, they write about him.
Don't give too much of the play away.
Yeah, we're not giving too much of it away.
What is the origin of the play, though?
Yeah, it's actually an original British play written by Britain's Ray Cooney. I think it was written in 1983, thereabouts.
Ray Cooney.
Yeah, Ray Cooney. He's still alive, actually. He's about 100. He's almost 100 years old. Yeah, in about 1983, thereabouts, and it started as his most successful play, and then somewhere around 1999 thereabouts, another lady that used to work with the BBC, Miguela Gonzalez, introduced it to David Donto's Cozy Cozy Theatre Company. I was a member of Cozy Cozy at the time. And it was first staged. She did a Ghanaian adaptation, and it was first staged in Ghana. Now, when I went to Legon, I also picked it up for my final year directing project, and we did some further work on it to make it a bit more Ghanaian, changed a few elements, and it was staged at the drama studio for the first time.
So
that was in 2004.
Production you've adapted to suit
the Ghanaian
I've
audiences.
About when you staged it on Legon campus back then. So
yes,
it's good that in your reintroduction to theatre, you went back to familiar material that you know cannot go wrong.
The interesting part is that I've never acted in Run for Your Wife before. This is the first time.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm acting in Run for Your Wife, and we should blame Nashoko for that.
And how are you marrying the twin roles? I mean, directing and acting.
3 actually, producing, directing, and acting.
Well, tell me.
I mean, you have been there. You know how it is. Can't deny the fact that it's been very challenging, but I'm lucky to have a very solid team to work with. You know, it's an Image Bureau, National Theatre of Ghana, and April Communications collaboration, and it's all a part of the Theatre Week celebrations, you know, together with Lexi the Comic Shows the day before. It's all part of the national celebration of the National Theatre's Theatre Week celebration. So the team has been good. The cast, fortunately for me, are all very professional. I mean, from Nashoko herself to Roland Adom. We had to go to Roverman to borrow a star from Roverman, Andrew Adote.
One of the best.
Andrew Tando Adote is, oh my goodness.
Yep.
And
phenomenal actor.
God bless Uncle Ebo for the kind of training he's put into that young man. He is an asset. He is a national asset. Not forgetting Roland Adom. And for me, I think Roland is one of the most underestimated stars we have in our space.
Okay.
You know, he has forayed into events planning and directing, so people have not seen his acting prowess yet. And I think people should really come see Roland Adom in his element at Run for Your Wife. Then there's Sichofe Chico, who is also entering the stage space. You know, this would probably be her second time on stage after featuring in Fifi Coleman's Women at Work.
Okay. Is she the one in Dede?
Yes, she's the one in
Okay.
Dede, exactly.
All right.
You know,
Yeah.
Sichofe is the one in Dede. I only discovered today that she's actually called Mavis. I never knew. You know, and she is also phenomenal. Then, of course, there is Fifi Coleman himself. And then introduce him for the first time on stage, our brother Anoda Samwabedu.
So you have some giants.
Huge.
Yes, and what should audiences look forward to?
Run for Your Wife is a comedy.
Okay.
It is going to be, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a different kind of comedy. Unlike other theater shows that you may have experienced, this one has no music performance whatsoever. It is all just pure drama. It's a straight pure drama.
Just dialogues.
Yes, just dialogue and
But
very,
very
witty, intelligent
dialogues.
Exactly. Okay. The play is one of the most intelligently written plays, and it touches on very sensitive themes. Very, very, very sensitive. There's a bit of homosexuality in there. There's a lot of issues relating to infidelity in there. There's bigamy in there. There is trust in there. And there is the nuisance created by journalists sometimes in there. And then there is either the quality or the lack of quality of the Ghana Police Service in there as well.
George, they say theatre, music, art forms mirror society.
It does.
You factor the homosexuality angle to it.
It does.
Relative to how society, how it's accepted or not in society?
Yes, and that is why everybody has to come
We
and
don't
see.
want to share details. We have to
No,
come and
we
see.
cannot. Everybody has to. All I can say is that, again, every time I touch Run for Your Wife, I rework it. Again, the script has been reworked a bit. So though you may have seen Run for Your Wife before, this one is a little different from what you may have seen. We had to redo a few scenes, introduce a few new scenes, rework a few scenes. And I would say that no child below age 18 should enter that auditorium.
So it's a highly regulated.
It is. It has to be regulated,
right?
exactly.
Listeners, take
Maybe we may accept 16, but we cannot go lower. We cannot go lower.
The person's age.
Anyway,
so tell us, when is the date again? Where can you get tickets? All the important details.
Run for Your Wife stages at the National Theatre next weekend, 1st and 2nd of October, my birth month. It's actually a week to my birthday, 7th October. So this one is truly special in many ways. It's happening at the National Theatre, 2 shows each day, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then you can get tickets right here from the front desk of Joy FM. You can get some from Bachona Total, from Tema Community 11 Shell, from Nalem stores at all the malls, from Ahum store at Palm Wine Junction, from Kuala, from Frankie's and Osu, from X-Men inside East Legon. And if you want to get it from the comfort of your bedroom, we also have an access for that. Just visit www.imagebrewgh.com. That's our website. Or you can also dial *365*2020 hash. That is *365*2020 hash, and then you can get yourself.
Thank you very much. Listeners, see you at Run for Your Wife. Next up, we have Uncle Ken standing in for Uncle Billy.
Uncle Ken.
Yes, George. What's the production been like?
Oh, it's
the past few days.
Any hassles? And you're staging this at the National Theatre?
National Theatre.
Now, I've had so many issues with the National Theatre.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What can you tell us about the place?
Fortunately, we've worked with the National Theatre, and I like I did mention, this is a part of the Theatre Week celebrations. So for the National Theatre itself, it is important for them to come to the party.
Right.
So they are also giving it their very best. The place is going to be cool. It's not going to be warm.
Are you bringing in coolers from outside?
No, yes. All I can say is that it's going to be a very, very, very exciting experience, and there aren't going to be any complaints. Not with the National Theatre. The challenges we've had
is money.
Really, money. Unfortunately,
how have you funded this so far?
Let him answer my question.
He's not done.
Let's finish with that.
But he was in
the problem. The challenges we've had so far, mainly aside the money, has been time. We are working with a cast that's very busy.
Yes.
The cast is very busy. Myself, I'm doing 1,000 other things. You have to be on radio, you have to run a company, you have to do other things, you have clients, deadlines. It's not been easy, but God has been grateful. Okay. So we had to break it into smaller units because it's not every time that you'd get everybody at rehearsal and all those things. So we've had to break it into smaller components and then put it all together. So yes, it's been quite tough, but it's looking good.
Arrangement with the National Theatre on a partnership basis where you don't have to pay for the venue yourself.
Oh, like I said, it is a part of the Theatre Week celebrations. So though you do not have to pay for the venue, you'd still have to pay eventually because there's a percentage of the stake that would go to the theatre. Exactly.
Okay,
there's a percentage of the stake that would go to the theatre. Yes, it's manageable. Yes,
it's manageable.
And the theatre has been quite. The theatre and Image Bureau have a very, very cordial relationship.
Okay.
There are other things. We worked on Ayi together, and there are other productions that we are going to be working on as well in the coming years. And even with the collaboration with April Communications, there are other productions that are coming up.
April Communications.
That's
National
company. There are other productions that are coming up. Yes,
I know. I mean, Uncle Ken has always been, and obviously something that I agree with him often, that creative industry is primarily private driven.
Yeah.
With what you're doing so far, what every other person is doing, what she's looking to do, and all of those things. Do you think at this point you need a certain level of, obviously National Theatre is a state organization, so they are supported, but would you need money?
We need money.
State organization?
Yeah. Look, we knocked on doors of almost every organization we could knock on, from all the telcos.
What case would you make for the kind of value that you provide to the state with your play
As in
and state's involvement in terms of funding of plays such as this?
Oh, listen, theatre.
George, before you answer,
yes.
I want to add to Sadiq's question.
Okay.
If you remember last week, I made reference to the fact that these theatre and stage people are the ones who, if I had my way, support should be given to, because they work and they get the proceeds, and they are the people who will be able to pay back loans or grants or whatever you give to them and you want them to pay back, they'll be able to pay back. So I see it as, when I hear of government or state agencies giving monies to left, right, to help people, I would rather these are the people they give the monies to. George, do the state help you with monies?
No.
Again, they should give to others, but maybe they should give to us too.
Yes, I'm saying, I am saying that if I was giving out money, I would give money to someone I know would be able to pay me back.
But I'm interested in the answer.
But
George
because
should answer.
You will stage your place.
And it was about answering your question. It was about answering your question. George, ask.
So you don't need the money.
I've even forgotten the question.
The question was the last question before you shut in. He says, "Did you get state investment?
No.
Are you looking for it?
We neither got state investment nor corporate Ghana investment. No,
investment
none.
at this point.
Run for Your Wife is running without any.
What do you think is the
form of
challenge with
support.
corporate organizations' support to it? Is it the fact that they don't think they will get any value in terms of
No, I
experiential
don't think
value?
so.
What
there
exactly
are
is it?
other productions that have gotten some support. I mean, we are still hoping, some support will come through. There are some organizations that have told us they will come aboard,
George,
and we're still hopeful. Now, the last time
right?
it was 2011.
Yeah, so,
theater since
So
2011.
it's coming back.
It is
George
coming
with all
back.
his connections, very soon you see all the brands.
Again,
It should be me, you should be
let's be honest.
He's silently you an application.
For himself. In all honesty, look, gentlemen. In all honesty, it's been a tough year for corporate Ghana. It's been a tough year for corporate Ghana. So we have to understand them when they come out.
Marketing budgets.
And for a lot of them, you're getting to the last quarter of the year. Things are still tough. They don't know what the December period is going to look like. So they need to be, a bit careful with their budget. So we totally do understand. But we're hoping that moving forward, things will pick up and get better. So, gentlemen, it's going to happen next week.
Next week.
George,
Uncle Gun.
When is Lexi's show?
It's the night before, on Friday, the 30th.
So
yes,
the night
yes,
before
the night
yours.
before. Exactly,
Okay,
on 30th.
Friday, right?
This coming Friday,
Then the
30th
Saturday is
September.
yours.
Then Saturday,
Okay,
Run for Your Wife.
okay,
Sunday, Run for Your
okay,
Wife. Exactly.
Charlie.
That's
So
nice.
too cute
At
to
the
be
same
me.
venue?
Same venue. Yes.
So do we have
so
Saturday?
Both being managed by Image Brew.
yeah,
So
it's
yes.
Are you going to be here on Saturday 4 p.m.?
No, I will
No,
not be here
you
on
can't
Saturday.
be.
Actually, I'm
You'll
taking
be
a
here.
break.
You'll be
after
here
today.
from there.
Yes.
He can't be here.
Yes, we're taking a short break, and to the listeners of the Late Night Express, I'll be off for a bit. God willing, we're back on the 7th of October.
So who's gonna come into their bedrooms within the week when you go and break?
You never know. Yes, the legendary Billy is in the house. Billy, welcome. How are you doing, sir? Yeah. You should be hosting us on FlashBack. Yeah, man.
I'll be glad to do so.
Yeah. One of these days, I'll come and join
Is
you.
Uncle Billy grooving to Asher Raymond? Is it Raymond?
Ashari. Oh, but before I forget, the Global Citizens concert is showing on Joy Prime tonight, and it's going to be live on Joy FM as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the concert is, and it's going to show live on Joy Prime. So tune into Joy Prime. I mean, Ultimate Entertainment.
So for
That's
those
where
that
it's
do
going
not
to
have
be.
tickets, they can
You can still be a part of it.
So
you
how
can
come
still be a
your
part of it.
distinguished panelists, George Quinn,
Yes.
do not have access to Global Citizens?
Let's
No,
ask
we're
them.
not good.
Anita, come and answer.
No,
but they showed you how to get access. You didn't follow. Go to their website. Take action.
How come you're not on production?
Oh, Run for Your Wife
Don't
took
ask
my
me the
time.
same question.
Run for Your Wife took my time. In all honesty, they did reach out, but I mean, if you. Yeah, they did reach out, but Run for Your Wife has taken the time
second
already.
show of Run for Your Wife?
It's on Sunday, 2nd October.
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and
No,
Sunday.
the second show on Saturday. There are two shows.
Yes, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
4 p.m. and
I
8
can
p.m.
see you at 8 p.m.
Uncle Ken will see you. Billy, you are coming, right?
That's for sure.
Definitely.
Saturday.
All right, gentlemen. So we'll wrap it up here. The show was produced by the proud Labadi boy Philip Nye and Anita Tay. Chris Piquet put us on social media. DJ Obete played the sounds, and he had to go do another party. The man has disappeared. Flashback comes up next after the news. We're out. My name is George Quay. Thank you very much.